Be recording. So welcome to our monthly briefing. We use this opportunity to kind of take a deeper dive into some incidents we've seen in the past months and give you some more advanced heads up about things that you should be concerned about for the month ahead. So Alec, if you would please. Today our recent incidents are going to include everything from all over the world, particularly Europe and South America, although Asia Pacific has been quite literally heating up lately with the heat waves that we've been seeing everywhere. So I will hand it over to the team to take it away.
Hi, I'm Olivia. I am a tactical intelligence intern here at SafeAbroad, and I will soon be the strategic intelligence team lead. So today I'm going to talk about Libreville, Gabon. So on July 13th, protests broke out at Omar Bongo University. And these protests were related to disagreements students had with their scholarship money. So these students they took over a few buildings at the university and burned tires and blocked traffic on the streets nearby. And the police responded forcibly back to these actions and dispersed the protesters. And traffic disruptions and heightened security in the area are likely to prevent any further protests. Next, I'll be talking about Lima, Peru. So on July 19th, tens of thousands of protesters took to the streets in Peru in marches organized by leftist groups opposed to policies of President Bolivar. The police took anti-riot measures, including tear gas and rubber bullets against the protesters. Injuries were reported, and at least 6 people were arrested. This is the third Takeover of Lima protest that we've seen, and we have actually done a forecast report on it. So, thank you.
Hi, my name is Maverick, and I am also a intelligence analyst intern at SafeAbroad, and I will be a team lead in the fall as well. The first issue I'll be talking about is in Korea. An intense heat wave has been ongoing over the Korean peninsula throughout July, with temperatures reaching over 100 degrees. Officials in South Korea issued heat wave warnings in the Seoul area on July 19th, with additional heat advisories on August 2nd. The heat wave has already caused 16 heat-related deaths and over 1,200 cases of heat stroke. This summer, extreme heat waves have also affected other parts of Asia, such as China and Japan, and this is following a trend of heat waves this summer, affecting many around the globe, with a large impact on many countries in Europe. SafeAbroad travelers in the area affected by the heat wave should follow the directives of local authorities in the area with heat-related and health-related advisories. The next incident I'm going to be talking about is in Auckland, New Zealand. On July 20th, a shooting occurred at a construction site in Auckland, New Zealand, resulting in the death of 2 people and several more wounded. The shooting happened just mere hours before the Women's World Cup in the city, and it was determined that the incident had no relation to the event and was a standalone incident. The shooter was also killed during the shootout with police, and the incident led to an increased security in the area. The shooting also resulted in travel disruptions in the area, which could have potentially affected travelers in the region, and it also caused business disruptions in the area, which it could have also affected.
And hello, everyone. My name is Christian Walsh. I'm an intelligence analyst here at SafeAbroad, and I, too, am on the tactical intelligence team with Jeff. And I'm going to be talking about first the wildfires in Greece. By July 22nd, wildfires have affected the Greek island of Rhodes, forcing the evacuation of approximately 20,000 tourists and residents. The wildfire extends beyond Rhodes, with other fires occurring in regions like Corfu, Evia, and Attica, leading to widespread flight cancellations and evacuations across the country. The wildfires have resulted in 5 reported deaths and dozens of people sustaining injuries thus far. Officials have attributed the outbreak of more than 650 fires to an intense heat wave spreading across Europe. This development is likely to inhibit travel opportunities for SafeAbroad clients, and we advise that travelers exercise caution when entering any of the affected areas. And next, we're going to be talking about Niger. On July 26th, the military in Niger seized power from the country's elected government, triggering a severe political crisis. The announcement of military takeover resulted in mass protests in the capital and has drawn condemnation from neighboring countries and international leaders. In response to the escalating situation, the United States and several European countries have initiated evacuations of their nationals from Niger. The unfolding events have raised concerns about the potential for further evacuations and regional instability as the situation deteriorates. This development comes as a result of several coups occurring in Africa recently, and SafeAbroad analysts are monitoring the situation very carefully. We do not expect any degree of imminent danger for our clients in this region, but we remind our clients to refer to local consulates and State Department advisories for travel when venturing into these regions. Thank you very much.
Hi, I'm Reagan. I'm an intelligence analyst intern, also on the tactical intelligence team. So to begin, on July 26, Typhoon Doksuri struck Taiwan and then extended into mainland China the following day. Multiple deaths have occurred as a result of the storm, highlighting some of the dangers associated with the weather this region is currently experiencing. Additionally, evacuation orders continue to affect hundreds of thousands throughout the impacted regions. And given the storm's severity, flights and transportation have been disrupted. These effects are likely to persist.
Okay, for the month ahead, we'll be looking over the upcoming typhoon season in the Pacific. Ecuador's nearing elections in the middle of a constitutional crisis, and the future of Israel in their judicial reform protest season.
So when looking ahead, typhoon seasons are expected to be longer and more severe throughout the Asia-Pacific region in the coming months than in years prior. So while monsoons and severe weather are common for the region, throughout the fall, storms will likely produce severe rain and winds more frequently. Similar storms will likely impact travelers throughout Japan, Philippines, Taiwan, Korea, and China. Additionally, flight disruptions and cancellations will become more frequent as a result, and SafeAbroad will continue to monitor this trend.
Okay, so I am Jeff. Hello again, all. I'm the tactical team lead here, responsible for most of SafeAbroad's regular briefings, including this, good or bad. And now we'll be talking about Ecuador's upcoming election on August 20th. Now, the country has been in a state of political turmoil since their controversial President Lasso dissolved the National Assembly back in May in the infamous dual death clause in the nation's constitution, which has seen it in a bit of a state of limbo over the last few months. Now, while Lasso himself is not seeking re-election, several of his major critics and opponents are. So this is a very contentious moment in Ecuadorian politics. This election will determine Ecuador's political future, and as such, it is likely that we will see frequent and intense political demonstrations in the weeks ahead, greatly disrupting the country's political scene. And finally, we are continuing to monitor the evolving situation in Israel after the government passed the nation's controversial judicial reform bill back on July 24th. Now, the Knesset is going into recess in August, and an upcoming hearing of the bill, ironically, in the nation's Supreme Court, will be coming up in September. So in the interim, we are expecting these protests to get more severe. Even at the current state, we've seen hundreds of thousands of people regularly turn out for weekly protests in Tel Aviv and just across the country. And nearing now, we're seeing several of the nation's major labor unions threaten to strike in opposition to the bill as well. So as this deadlock continues, as the bill again returns to the forefront in these judicial hearings, it is likely that we'll see more frequent and more intense protests on the matter.
Absolutely. And now we can sort of turn to a lot of the reports that we've either been published in the past month, or that we're in the works in the couple of the weeks ahead. As you'll notice, a lot of these have been covered specifically in these reports. A lot of the incidents that we've been monitoring have been turning into advisories, have also been escalated into either situation reports, or we've been analyzing in the form of forecast reports. A good example for this is the Takeover of Lima, which we caught a couple weeks early as a series of previous protests kind of pointed us to the direction of what these protests would look like in the future. Obviously, we are hoping to make sure that we can continue to monitor these incidents as they continue to unfold. But we recommend that anybody interested would direct themselves to the SafeAbroad.com website. Also, make sure to check the Slack channels for the reports that we like to publish them, and also just be aware of the continuously updated 2023 European heat waves, which we've already seen turn into wildfires in Greece. But we're anticipating to see continued cycles of heat and record-breaking temperatures across Europe. But we've also seen how this is a global phenomenon, such as in South Korea. But in the couple of the weeks ahead, we're hoping that we'll be able to publish more reports specifically about the typhoon and monsoon seasons that Southeast Asia is experiencing, especially to cover the travel disruptions, the flight cancellations, the weather-related disruptions that travelers are expected to see. But we'll also be keeping an eye on the Israeli judicial reform, especially if this turns into kind of as the Knesset is on vacation or on break, if the judicial branch decides to step up and we see larger protests or national strikes. So be on the lookout for further published reports. All right, that will be the end. This will also likely be my last monthly brief, but thank you everybody for participating in this, for attending. We'll be able to stay on for further questions, but we encourage everybody to stay up to date on our Slack channel or to direct themselves to the SafeAbroad website for further reports, as well as any incidents and advisories that we'll be monitoring. Thank you.